to the brothers. I had this question that I asked to the brothers, and I said to them, look, what is your goal? What is your goal for the last 120 days? Like, what do you want to achieve? You know what I mean? And the reason why I asked the brothers of mine that I'm coaching, the reason why I asked them this question is because I had this thought this morning, and I'm reading this book on high performance, and one of the key principles and topics it talks about, the attribute that it spoke about, was the importance of clarity and just being clear in regards to what you want to achieve. You know, people that actually that achieve something, people that, like, for example, for me, when I first started this journey, one of the reasons why I wasn't getting the result I wanted was because I wasn't really clear in regards to what I wanted to achieve. You know, many times back in 2015, when I was putting on the weight, when I got married, when I was going from, you know, 150 to 160 kilos to 170 kilos, I kept saying to myself, Felice, like, lose the weight. I wanted to lose the weight. You know, I would say, I want to lose 30 kilos. I want to lose 40 kilos. I want to get down to 150. I want to get down to 120. But then that was it. You know what I mean? I wasn't really clear in regards to, okay, that's the goal. Who do I need to become? You know what I mean? It was very general. And what I came to realize, when you're not clear in regards to the goals that you want to achieve, you don't have power, you don't have certainty. And so even though I said to myself, look, I want to lose, you know, 50 kilos, I want to get down to 120, that was it. I'll write it down on a piece of paper, which is good, but then I wasn't clear in regards to who do I need to become. And so I was doing this unconsciously. I didn't actually realize that this is the right way to do it. You know what I mean? I was just kind of doing what I thought was right. And this morning, as I was pondering and as I was reflecting, what am I going to share with you, brothers? What am I going to share with you today? I reflected on my journey. I'm like, wow, how have I been able to lose up to 80 kilos? What did I do right? And what did I do wrong? And so that's what I want to share with you guys right now. What I want to share with you guys, if you're going to dominate the last 120 days, like, we're just over 120 days till the end of 2020. And if you're like me and you don't want to live in regret and you want to get a result, like, you want this year, you want to be able to dominate the last 3 to 4 months. Like, you don't want this year to be another year where you're just like, you know what? If only I started, if only I went all in 1 month ago, if only I went all in 2 months ago. Then what I want to do for you guys right now, I want to share with you a 4-step system, 4 steps that you can apply in your journey right now, that I'm applying in my journey. Because I'm still in the trenches. Like, I'm not, I still haven't achieved my body weight. Like, for me, my goal is to get down to 130 kilos by the end of this year. And I'm declaring it. I'm having the courage and the self-belief within myself to be able to declare it, because then I have to back it up. Okay. So the first thing that I come to realize, then I want you guys to apply in your journey, if you want to achieve, like, if you want to get a result by the end of this year, if you want to dominate the last 120 days, the first thing that you need to be clear is in regards to what is the result that you want to achieve. It might sound cliche, but like, for myself, I used to tell myself, like, I want to lose 20, I want to lose 30, but it was just very general. Like, find a number. What's the number? What's the specific amount of weight that you want to lose by the end of this year? Like, be very specific. Okay, don't sugarcoat. Don't be like, oh, I want to lose between 30 to 40 kilos. No. Be specific. Like, if you weigh 150 right now and you're like, I want to get down to 130 kilos, say that. 130 kilos, that's it. And just make a decision. Like, for me, when I was over 200 kilos, I was like, man, I just want to get under, I want to be able to step on the scale and for the scale to read. I want it to be like 100. I want to get down to, because I had a scale that could only, it would only read from 207. And every time I kept stepping on the scale, it wouldn't read. It just kept saying error. So what I said to myself, I was like, you know what? I just want to get down to 206. Just 206. And I kept telling myself 206. And I'll go out there and I'll do the work. I'm like, nutrition, exercise. And I just kept doing it and just kept trying to push myself and just kind of, you know, I didn't actually know I was doing this, but I was just kind of, the main focus for me was like, I just want to get down to 206. I just want the scale to read. And so I'd go out there and I would just I'll go for my 30-minute walk. I would try to be better with my nutrition. And it got to a point where when I was over 200 kilos, it got to a point within 3 weeks, I stepped on the scale, and then it was reading. It was reading at like 206, 207. Boom! It felt good, guys. But it wasn't until I set a specific goal. And so for you guys right now, you need to be specific. Like, what is the goal? Like, what do you guys want to get down to? What is the actual number that you want to hit by the end of this year? A lot of you guys right now, you're just being too general. And I'm telling you this, if you're general in this journey, you're not going to be able to actually hit that goal weight. Like, the more specific you are in regards to that target that you want to hit, then what you do is you write down a piece of paper, you look at it, you declare it, and you're just focusing on it every single day. That's the first thing. The second thing is, now that you're clear in regards to what is the weight that you want to hit, the second thing is, how is it going to make you feel? Create emotion, guys. Emotion is what drives action, right? So you have to, like, so for me, if you go to my YouTube videos, a lot of the time, what I kept saying this, guys. When I was over 200 kilos, I just said to myself, Felice, 120. You're 120 kilos. You're 120 kilos. It came to a point where I just lived. I started to think, and I imagined myself already there. Like I said to myself, Felice, if you're 120 kilos today, what would you be doing? How would you be acting? What would your nutrition look like? What would your exercise? And it created this emotion, and it created, when I put myself in that position, I was like, man, I'll be so much more happier. I would have so much more energy. I would have so much more confidence in myself. My marriage would be so much more powerful, and I'll be more present with my wife. My children, I'll be able to inspire them. I could take them to the park. I would be happy with them, and they would be happy because I'm giving them happiness in their life. And so I imagined myself there, and I created emotion, guys. And emotion is going to drive action. So the first thing is, now that you're clear in regards to your goal, specific goal, then what you need to do every single day, guys, every single day, convince yourself that you're already there. Start acting as if you're 120 kilos. Your goal is to get to 100 kilos. Start acting like that person. Create those emotions. I'm happy. This is how I feel. And the crazy thing is, once you start to act as if you're that person, you end up the action is what creates results in your life. In action, when you don't do anything, you don't get the result that you want. So for me, it wasn't until I convinced myself that I'm 120, and then I started to act, and I was a lot more happier, because I realized for myself, being over 200 kilos and acting like the Felice at 200 kilos, he's just depressed, he doesn't take action, he's a procrastinator. That's not going to get me to that result. So number one, be specific in regards to the result that you want. Number two, start acting like that person. Think about, what are the attributes that person has? Create emotion with you. So like, how much more different would your life be right now if you hit your goal weight, whatever that number is? How much more happier, how much more energy would you have? How much more motivation would you have? Okay. And then number three, identify the skills, identify the habits. What are how much more different would your nutrition be if you were to lose 20, 30 kilos? Like I started to think, like, for me, the difference for me to being where I am right now is I started to think like this: if I'm going to lose 100 kilos, what would be different? And I started to think, like, I started to study professional athletes. I started to study LeBron James, started to study Tom Brady. What do they do differently? And they have this professional mindset, like they respect food, food respects them. So I said to myself, you know what? If I'm going to be able to lose 100 kilos, I have to think like I'm a professional athlete. Professional athletes, they have a routine around exercise. They have a routine around nutrition. They look after themselves. They look after themselves mentally. And so that's what I started to do. I started to write down consistency. These are the attributes around, attributes around nutrition, understanding what nutrition is all about. And identifying, where are my weaknesses, being specific, being clear, guys, in regards to this, in my nutrition, where am I failing? What time of the day am I failing? Like, a big part for me was identifying that. A big part of me was I would eat a lot within the evenings. When I'm at home, that's my comfort zone. That's when I kind of let go. In the mornings, I'm all right. At lunchtime, I'm all right. It's in the evenings when I kind of forget. And it's become a habit. So that's just narrowing in and understanding that this is my weakness and I need to work on it. And if I can work on that part, then I'll be able to hit my goal weight by the end of this year. Okay, so number one, being clear in regards to the result that you want. Number two, creating that emotion every single day, giving yourself that joy and that motivation by understanding and thinking that you're there. Number three, identifying what are the habits. What does that person look like? If you lost 30 kilos, what are the attributes? What does that person think like? What does their nutrition look like? What does their exercise look like? Okay. Number four, creating a plan, right? So now that you know that you want to be there, let's create a plan in regards to how we're going to get there. All right. And being specific with that. And then number five is get the work done. All right. So these are the 5 steps that I want to share with you. If you're going to dominate the last 120 days of 2020, apply these 5 simple principles. Number one, be clear in regards to what is the result that you want to achieve. Number two, how would that make you feel if you achieve that goal by December 31st, 2020? How would that make you feel? Write it down, guys. Be specific. I'll be happy. I'll be joyful. I'll have so much more motivation. Write it down, and then every single day, read it, live it. Be present with yourself. Create that emotion within yourself. You will create motivation to want to do the work. Number three, identify what are the attributes that is going to allow you to reach that goal. If you were to lose 30 kilos, what are the attributes around nutrition? Which part of your nutrition need? Be specific. Which part of your nutrition do you need to look after? When do you binge eat the most? Is it in the evenings? Is it in the morning? Where are you distracted? Be specific. Be clear. Okay, point that out. Number four, create a plan. Okay, this is the plan. This is my nutrition. I'm going to implement intermittent fasting. I'm going to do 30 minutes of walking. When are you going to do 30 minutes of walking? What time of the day? Be specific. Be clear. Don't be general, guys. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to do it every day in the mornings. No, pick a specific time. Okay, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's when I'm going to walk. From 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's when I'm going to walk. I look at the brothers I coach right now and I'm saying, the reason why these guys are succeeding is because they've been able to build a habit. They're clear in regards to the time of the day they work out. They know what kind of nutrition they want to apply. They have a clear plan. Okay, and then number five, they get the work done. And then it's just rinse and repeat, guys. Rinse and repeat. I guarantee you guys, if you're gonna dominate the last 120 days, apply these 5 simple principles, guys. I guarantee you it will work. And I'm also doing it to myself. This is what it's taken me to be able to get to this point where I've lost up to 80 kilos. My goal right now is to get down to 130. If I get down to 130, that's 100 kilo loss for myself. Okay. And so I really want you guys to implement these. If you have any questions, please comment below. Let me know if you have any questions. And other than that, man, like I do, for those brothers out there, married men that have gained more than 30 kilos, I've got a free coaching group. If you want to get access to that, there should be a link there below. Click that link, come on in. I usually go live every single day and just kind of sharing tips and strategies around nutrition and exercise. Other than that, guys, have an awesome week, man. Have an awesome week. Be clear and intentional about the goals that you want to achieve. And then every single day, guys, every single day, wake up with intention, with motivation, look at those goals and do the work that's necessary to be able to achieve that goal. Much love, Atul, and I'll speak to you guys soon.